The colony was always quiet after sunset. The streets were narrow, the lamps were weak, and the air was filled with the smell of dust and smoke. In this place, 3 alien boys lived with their mother in a broken home made of metal sheets and old wood. They were poor, but they were strong, and every day they searched for work so they could bring food back home. The oldest boy, Raal, carried himself like a leader. He was tall for his age, with sharp green eyes that always looked for danger. The second boy, Taran, was smaller and quicker. He liked to talk and joke even when times were hard. The youngest, Silo, was quiet. He did not speak much, but he always noticed things that the others missed. That evening, as the boys walked along the road, they saw something unusual. A man was standing beside a large black car. He was human, not alien. His clothes were clean and rich, and on his hand shone a silver ring. The man had several heavy bags on the ground, filled with strange boxes and long objects wrapped in cloth. He looked around as if waiting for someone, but no one came. The man's eyes fell on the 3 boys. He smiled, but his smile was not warm. It was the kind of smile that hides a secret. "You boys," the man said. His voice was smooth, but it carried power. "Come here. I need help carrying my bags." Raal hesitated. He knew humans often looked down on alien children like them, but he also knew they needed food tonight. He gave a small nod, and the 3 of them stepped forward. The bags were heavy. Too heavy for normal objects. When Raal lifted one, he felt a strange vibration inside, as if something alive was locked within. Taran complained at first, but then laughed, pretending it was easy. Silo did not laugh. He kept staring at the man, his dark eyes narrow and watchful. "Good boys," the man said as they carried the bags to the back of his car. "Strong boys. Your mother must be proud." He said the words kindly, but somehow they felt wrong, as if the man knew more about them than he should. When the last bag was loaded, the man reached into his coat pocket. He pulled out something small and shiny. It was a coin, but not like any coin the boys had ever seen. It glowed faintly with a soft blue light, and strange marks were carved into its surface. "Take this," the man said, handing it to Raal. "Payment for your work." Raal stared at it, unsure. "We need food, not a toy," he said. The man's smile widened. "This is worth more than food. Keep it. One day you will understand." Raal wanted to refuse, but Silo stepped forward and touched the coin. The moment his fingers brushed it, the glow grew brighter, as if the coin recognized him. Silo gasped, but quickly closed his hand around it. The man's eyes glimmered with something sharp. Pleasure, or maybe victory. "Good," he whispered. "It has chosen." Before Raal could ask what he meant, the man turned, climbed into his car, and drove away. The engine roared, and soon the black car vanished into the night. The boys stood in silence. The street was empty again, but the air felt heavier. Taran broke the silence first. "Well, that was strange. But hey, at least we got something shiny. Maybe we can sell it?" Raal shook his head. No, that man was not normal. His eyes, they were too cold. "This coin may be trouble." Silo said nothing. He only stared at the coin in his hand. The blue light flickered softly, and for a moment it almost looked like the marks on its surface were moving. Like they were alive. When the boys returned home, their mother was waiting. She was tired, her face lined with worry, but her eyes were sharp. "What did you bring back?" she asked. Raal showed her the empty hands. "We helped a human. He paid us with this." He pointed to the coin. Silo slowly opened his fist, and the glow filled the room. Their mother gasped, stepping back as if she had seen a ghost. "Where did you get that?" she demanded, her voice trembling. "A man gave it to us," Raal explained. "He said it was payment." Their mother grabbed the coin from Silo's hand. The moment she touched it, her skin seemed to burn. She dropped it quickly, and it rolled across the floor, stopping under a shadow. "Never trust gifts from humans," she whispered, almost to herself. "This is not money. This is something else, something dangerous." But before anyone could speak again, the coin began to glow brighter, much brighter than before. The marks twisted like fire, and a faint humming filled the room. The boys stared with wide eyes. Silo felt his heart beating fast, and in the silence he thought he heard something. A whisper. A voice, soft and distant, calling his name. He froze. The whisper came again, clearer this time. "Silo." The boy's eyes widened in shock. He turned to his brothers, but they had not heard it. Only he could hear the voice. Outside, the wind blew hard against the thin walls of their home, and in that moment the colony no longer felt safe. The encounter with the wealthy man was over. But something far more dangerous had already begun. The night was colder than usual. A weak moonlight slipped through the cracks of the metal roof, falling across the small room where the alien family sat. The glowing coin lay in the center of the floor, shining like a strange heart that refused to stop beating. The three boys could not sleep. Ral sat with his arms crossed, his eyes fixed on the coin. Taryn lay on his back, tossing a small stone in the air again and again, pretending to be calm but glancing at the coin each time it lit up. Silo sat close to it, silent, his face pale in the blue light. Their mother did not rest either. She moved around the room, restless, whispering to herself. Finally, she stopped and faced her children. "You must listen to me," she said, her voice sharp. "This thing is not a gift. Humans do not give gifts to us, not like this. This coin, it is a key, and keys always open something dangerous." Ral frowned. "But what does it open? Why give it to us?" The mother shook her head. "I don't know. But nothing good." She pointed to the coin. "We should throw it away before it brings us harm." Taryn laughed, though his voice cracked a little. "Throw it away? It shines like treasure. Maybe we can sell it to traders. Maybe it's worth enough to buy food for months." But the mother snapped. "You don't understand. This coin is not from the markets. It is older. Much older. Look at the marks. Those are not human letters. They belong to another race. A race that once ruled the stars." The room grew quiet again. The only sound was the low humming of the coin. Silo leaned closer to it. His brothers watched nervously. The youngest boy's eyes reflected the blue light as if he were already part of it. He whispered almost to himself, "It's talking." Ral stiffened. "What did you say?" Silo blinked, then slowly turned his head toward his brothers. His lips trembled. "It's calling me. It says my name." "I hear it." Taryn sat up quickly. "Stop trying to scare us. It's just glowing metal. It can't talk." But Silo shook his head. "No, I hear it every time I touch it." A voice from far away. "It wants me to follow." The mother's face turned pale. She stepped forward and grabbed Silo's shoulders. "Listen to me, child. Do not answer it. Do not follow it. Whatever speaks through this coin does not want to help you. It wants to use you." Silo lowered his head, but the whisper inside his mind did not stop. It was soft, kind, almost like a lullaby from the stars. He felt drawn to it, the way the ocean pulls ships into the deep. Later that night, when everyone tried to rest, strange things began to happen. The walls of their small home flickered with shadows. At first it looked like the light of the coin was playing tricks, but then shapes appeared, symbols glowing on the metal walls. They shifted and twisted, forming patterns the boys could not understand. Ral sat up in alarm. "Look, the walls, they're changing." Taryn rubbed his eyes. "I see it too. It's writing something." The mother gasped, pressing her hands together as if in prayer. "These are warnings. These are signs of power. This is exactly why we should never have touched that man's gift." The glowing symbols pulsed brighter, and for a moment the entire room felt alive. The air was heavy, almost vibrating. The boys could hear a faint hum, like the deep sound of machines buried under the earth. Silo stood, drawn to the coin again. His small hands reached out, and the moment he touched it, the symbols froze. Then, one by one, they shifted into a single image, a star map glowing across the walls. The boys' mouths opened in awe. Taryn whispered, "It's showing us a place, somewhere far away." But their mother was not awed. She pulled Silo back and shouted, "Enough! This thing is cursed. Tomorrow we bury it, far from here. No one must see it. No one must know we have it." Ral nodded slowly. Maybe she's right. If soldiers or traders see this, they will kill us for it. But in his heart, he also felt a strange fire. He wanted to know more. Why them? Why now? That night, while the others slept uneasily, Ral stayed awake. He watched Silo, who still clutched the coin in his sleep. The boy's lips moved as if he was speaking to someone in a dream. Outside, the colony was silent, but the silence felt dangerous, as if the night itself was listening. Suddenly, Ral heard a noise. A soft crunch like footsteps on gravel. He moved to the window and peeked outside. There, under the pale moonlight, a figure stood at the edge of the street. It was the same wealthy human, the man with the silver ring. His car was nowhere to be seen, but his eyes glowed faintly, reflecting the blue light of the coin even from a distance. Ral's heart froze. The man raised a finger to his lips, a gesture for silence, and then he smiled. Ral dropped down from the window, his chest heavy with fear. He looked at his sleeping brothers and whispered to himself. He came back. The coin pulsed once more, brighter than ever, and the whisper in Silo's mind grew stronger. Tomorrow would not be safe. Tomorrow, their lives would change forever. The morning sun rose weakly over the colony, painting the broken roofs and dusty roads with dull light. The three alien boys woke tired, their dreams filled with whispers and glowing walls. Their mother cooked a thin soup, but none of them were hungry. The memory of the coin and the man's sharp smile still weighed on them. Silo sat silently, his fingers brushing the coin hidden in his pocket. It no longer glowed in the daylight, but it still felt warm, alive. He tried not to look at his mother, afraid she would notice he had kept it. She thought she had hidden it, but Silo had stolen it back before dawn. Something inside him refused to let it go. Raoul noticed the secret, but said nothing. He was torn between anger and worry. He knew the coin was dangerous, yet he also felt the same burning curiosity that haunted his younger brother. After they finished their weak breakfast, the boys stepped outside. The colony was noisy now, children running, traders shouting, machines clanging. Life looked normal, but under the noise there was a strange tension in the air. Raoul felt it, the way hunters feel when something unseen is stalking them. And then he saw him. The wealthy human was back. He stood near the edge of the market, dressed in the same clean clothes, his silver ring shining in the sun. He carried no bags this time. He didn't need them. His sharp eyes moved slowly across the crowd until they locked onto the boys. Raoul's stomach tightened. He whispered, "He's here." Taryn followed his gaze and groaned. Not him again. What does he want now? Silo froze. His hand went instinctively to the coin in his pocket. He felt it pulse against his skin, faint but steady, as if it were beating like a heart. The man walked toward them, his steps calm, his smile smooth. People in the market stepped aside not because they knew him, but because something in his presence demanded space. "Well, well," the man said when he reached them. His voice was polite, almost friendly, but cold underneath. "My strong helpers. Did you sleep well?" Raoul swallowed hard. Yes, the man's eyes lingered on Silo. "And the coin? You still have it, don't you?" Silo's throat went dry. Before he could speak, Raoul quickly stepped forward. "No, we lost it. It rolled away in the dark. We don't have it anymore." For a moment, silence hung heavy between them. Then the man's smile widened, slow and unsettling. He leaned closer and whispered, "Good. That means it has chosen you." The boys stiffened. Taryn blinked in confusion. "Chosen, what do you mean?" The man did not answer. Instead, he straightened and looked around at the busy market. "Not here. Too many ears. Too many eyes." His gaze snapped back to Silo. "But soon you will understand." The youngest boy felt the coin burn hot in his pocket, as if it reacted to the man's words. He pressed his fist against it, trying to hide the glow he feared might break through. Raoul clenched his teeth. "Why us? Why give this thing to children?" The man chuckled softly, though there was no humor in it. "Because only the young can carry it. Only the unbroken. Adults have too much fear, too much greed. But children still hear the voices of old things." His eyes glimmered strangely, not like human eyes. For a second, the boys thought they saw them flash silver, like cold metal. Taryn stepped back, whispering, "He's not normal." The man reached into his coat and pulled out nothing more than a folded piece of paper. He handed it to Raoul. "Here, a gift for your mother. Tell her I said hello." Raoul took the paper slowly, his hand trembling. The man leaned close to him, so near Raoul could feel the chill of his breath. "Do not fight it," he whispered. "The coin has begun its work. If you resist, it will only hurt more." Before the boys could react, the man turned and walked away. He did not hurry. He didn't need to. People stepped aside for him, and within moments he was gone, swallowed by the noise of the market. The boys stood frozen. Raoul finally opened the folded paper. Inside was a single sentence written in strange symbols and shaky human letters. "The key wakes the blood." None of them understood what it meant, but the words burned into their minds like fire. When they returned home, their mother was waiting. She saw the paper in Raoul's hand and the pale fear on their faces. "What happened?" she demanded. Raoul explained everything, the man's return, his strange words, the paper. Their mother's eyes grew wide with terror. She grabbed the note, read it, and then threw it into the fire. "You should never have spoken to him again," she cried. "This is worse than I feared. He knows who we are. He knows about us." The boys stared at her in shock. "What do you mean?" Taryn asked. She pressed her hands to her face, trembling. "That man is not just wealthy. He is a hunter, a collector of alien secrets. And now he has marked us." Before they could question her more, Silo gasped. The coin in his pocket began to glow again, this time brighter than ever, burning through the cloth. He pulled it out and it shone like a tiny star, filling the room with blue fire. And then, from outside, heavy footsteps echoed. Soldiers. The human had returned, but not alone. The sound of boots grew louder outside their thin metal walls. Heavy, sharp steps. Not the steps of neighbors, not the light shuffle of traders, but soldiers. Soldiers who never came to this poor colony unless there was trouble. The mother's face turned white. She rushed to the door and pushed her children back. "Stay quiet. Do not open your mouths," she whispered. Her voice trembled, but her eyes were fierce. The boys froze. Ral's hands curled into fists, ready to fight even though he knew he could not win. Taryn bit his lip, whispering, "Why soldiers? Why us?" But Silo just stared at the glowing coin in his hand, its blue light reflecting in his wide eyes. A sharp knock shook the door. "Open!" a deep voice commanded. By order of the authority, the mother turned to her children. "Hide it, now!" she hissed. Silo clutched the coin against his chest. For a moment it resisted, as if it did not want to be hidden. Then he shoved it under a loose plank in the floor. The glow dimmed, but a faint hum still filled the room as if the coin was breathing. The mother opened the door. 3 soldiers stood outside, tall and armored, their helmets reflecting the morning sun. Behind them a black vehicle hummed, its engine low and menacing. The leader stepped forward. His face was hidden by a mask, but his voice was cold. "We are searching this area. A human official reported stolen property. We have reason to believe it is here." The mother lifted her chin. "This is a poor home. We have nothing worth stealing." The soldier's visor tilted, scanning the small room behind her. "Step aside," she blocked the doorway, her voice sharp. "You will not enter my house without cause." The leader paused. For a moment silence hung heavy. Then he raised a gloved hand and the other soldiers pushed past her. They entered without hesitation, their boots thudding against the floor. The boys' hearts pounded as the soldiers searched. They kicked at broken furniture, tore open baskets, pulled blankets aside. One of them stepped dangerously close to the plank where the coin was hidden. Silo held his breath. He felt the hum vibrating under his feet. His mind filled with the whispering voice again. "Do not fear. I am with you." The soldier's boot hovered above the plank. Then suddenly he turned away, distracted by the sound of something outside. The mother's anger cracked through the air. "Enough, we have nothing. You search poor families while real thieves hide in rich houses." The leader turned his masked face toward her. For a moment it seemed he would strike her, but instead he said, "The man with the silver ring will not be pleased." The boys stiffened. "The wealthy human." Ral stepped forward before he could stop himself. "What does he want with us?" "We did nothing." The soldier tilted his head. "He says you carry something of his. Something powerful. If you hand it over now, you may live in peace." The mother quickly pulled Ral back. "We have nothing. Tell your master to look elsewhere." The leader stared at her, silent for a long moment. Then he lowered his voice, almost like a threat meant only for her ears. "He always gets what he wants." With that, the soldiers turned and left the house. The heavy door slammed shut behind them, leaving the family in silence. The mother leaned against the wall, her breath shaking. Her hands covered her face for a moment, then she lowered them, her eyes full of fury and fear. "You see?" she said, her voice trembling. "This is no gift. That man is dangerous. He has soldiers under his command. If he wants the coin, it is because it holds power we cannot even imagine." Taryn swallowed hard. "Then why us? Why give it to us at all?" The mother stared at the floor where the coin was hidden. "Because he could not use it himself." The boys looked at each other, confused. She continued, her voice low, almost like she was remembering an old story. "Long ago, before humans ruled this planet, there were artifacts left by other races, keys, weapons, machines beyond our knowledge. Some say only certain bloodlines can awaken them. Maybe our family carries that blood." The room fell into silence. The hum under the floor grew louder, as if the coin agreed with her words. Silo knelt and pulled it out again. It glowed brighter than before, filling the room with sharp blue light. The whisper returned in his mind, but this time it was stronger, commanding. "Find me, follow the path," the mother gasped. "Don't touch it." She grabbed his wrist, trying to pull it away, but the coin clung to Silo's palm like it had fused with his skin. The light spread across the walls once more, symbols twisting and shifting until they formed the same glowing star map. But this time the map pulsed, pointing toward a single spot far beyond the colony. Taryn stared in awe. "It's showing us something again. A place." The mother shook her head, tears in her eyes. "No, it's leading you to danger. To whatever that man wants. We must destroy it." But as she tried to snatch the coin away, it flared with a blinding flash, forcing everyone to shield their eyes. When the light faded, the coin was quiet again. But the image of the map burned in their minds, Silo whispered, his voice shaky. "It wants us to go." Raoul clenched his fists, torn between fear and curiosity. Taryn's eyes shone with excitement, but their mother's face was hard with dread. For the first time, she spoke not as a mother, but as someone truly afraid. "If you follow that map, you will not return. That man is not just a wealthy human. He is something else, and he is watching us." The boys fell silent, but outside, in the shadows of the colony, the wealthy man stood again. His silver ring glinted in the dim light, and he was smiling. The house felt heavy after the soldiers left, like the air itself carried their threat. The boys sat in silence, the coin glowing faintly in Silo's hand. Their mother paced the room, her face hard, her mind racing. "We can't stay here," she said suddenly. "He knows where we live. His soldiers will come again, and next time they won't just search, they'll take you." Raoul frowned. "Take us? Why?" "Because of the coin," she snapped. "Because it chose you. He wants it, but he can't touch it himself. He needs you to carry it for him." Taryn's voice shook. "Then what do we do? Where do we go?" Before she could answer, the sound returned. The low hum of engines, the heavy stomp of boots. The soldiers were back. The mother's eyes widened. "Run!" The boys didn't hesitate. Raoul grabbed Silo's arm. Taryn snatched a sack of food, and they bolted out the back door just as fists hammered against the front. The colony was alive with noise, shouts, the grind of metal, the roar of the soldiers' vehicle. Neighbors peered out from cracked doors but quickly hid again. No one wanted trouble with authority soldiers. "Faster," Raoul urged, pulling his brothers down a narrow alley. Behind them, the soldiers shouted, "Stop them! By order of the authority!" Silo clutched the coin tight as he ran. The hum grew louder, vibrating in his chest. Then, without warning, the coin began to change. Its edges stretched, its surface twisted, and lines of light ran across it like veins. "What's happening to it?" Taryn shouted as he ran beside him. "I don't know," Silo cried, his voice breaking. The coin unfolded in his hands, growing into a flat disc that spun like a compass. Blue beams of light shot out, striking the walls and ground, creating glowing arrows. "It's making a path," Raoul realized, glancing back at the soldiers closing in. "Follow it." The boys sprinted through twisting alleys, guided by the glowing arrows. The coin seemed alive, pulling them left, right, always ahead. The soldiers followed, but the narrow passages slowed their heavy armor. "Stop!" One of the soldiers barked, raising his weapon. A blast of energy scorched the wall near Raoul's head, showering sparks. The boy ducked, heart pounding, and dragged his brothers forward. They burst out onto the main road. People scattered, shouting as the boys dashed past. The black vehicle roared behind them, its engine screaming like a beast. "Move!" Raoul shouted, shoving Taryn out of the way as the vehicle swerved close. The ground shook as it tore past, blocking their path forward. Soldiers leapt out, raising their weapons. Trapped. The boys skidded to a stop. The coin pulsed wildly in Silo's hands, the arrows spinning out of control. The youngest boy trembled, whispering, "It doesn't want to stop. It's pulling me somewhere." The soldiers advanced. Their leader stepped forward, visor glinting. "Give it to us. Now, you have no escape." Raoul stepped in front of his brothers, fists clenched. "You'll have to fight us for it." The soldier laughed, cold and harsh. "Brave, but foolish." Before he could strike, the coin flared like a star. A blinding wave of blue light exploded outward, knocking the soldiers off their feet and shaking the ground. The black vehicle screeched as its systems flickered, its engine choking on the surge of power. The crowd screamed and scattered. Dust rose in clouds. The soldiers cursed, struggling to stand. "Run!" Raoul shouted. The boys took off again, the coin glowing brighter than ever. It led them away from the market, away from the colony toward the wastelands beyond. Their mother caught up with them at the edge of the road, breathless and desperate. "This is madness," she cried. "That thing will kill us all." But the coin hummed louder, its light forming a single arrow pointing toward the horizon. The whisper in Silo's mind grew stronger, clearer. "Come, the path is yours." They had no choice. Soldiers poured into the streets behind them more than before, their weapons raised. "Go," their mother urged, shoving them forward. "I'll hold them back." Raoul shook his head fiercely. "No, we won't leave you. You must," she yelled, her voice breaking. "This is bigger than us now. If they catch you, it ends here. But if you follow that path, maybe, just maybe, you'll find the truth." Tears blurred Raoul's vision, but he grabbed his brother's hands. With one last look at their mother, the three boys sprinted into the wastelands. Behind them, the colony erupted with shouts and fire. The land stretched wide and empty, cracked earth and broken stones under a burning sun. The coin's arrow blazed across the ground, always leading forward. The boys ran until their legs ached, until their lungs burned, but they did not stop. When they finally collapsed on a ridge far from the colony, they looked back. Black smoke rose in the distance. The soldiers were searching, but the wastelands had many paths, and the coin's light was their only guide. Silo lay on the ground, clutching the disc. His voice was weak but certain. "It's taking us to something hidden, something buried." Raoul stared at the glowing path ahead, fear and determination battling in his chest. "Then we follow it. Whatever it is, we'll find it before he does." Taran sat up, his face pale but his eyes shining with a strange excitement. "This is crazy!" "But maybe. This is what we were meant for." The coin pulsed in agreement, its light stretching toward the horizon like a finger pointing at destiny. Far behind them, in the shadows of the smoke, the wealthy man with the silver ring watched from his black car. His smile was sharp and patient. "The chase has begun," he murmured. The wasteland stretched endless before the boys. Cracked earth, broken stones, and the skeletons of machines long dead covered the ground. The air shimmered with heat, but the coin's glow did not fade. Its blue arrows danced across the soil, pulling them onward. They walked for hours. Their legs trembled with exhaustion, but none of them spoke of stopping. Each time they slowed, the coin hummed louder like a heartbeat demanding they keep moving. At last, they reached a ridge of black stone. The arrows pointed straight down into a narrow canyon hidden from view. Raoul peered over the edge and felt a chill. Shadows swallowed the canyon floor. Strange metal shapes jutted out of the rock, half buried and broken. "It looks ancient," Taran whispered. Silo clutched the coin, his eyes wide. "It's down there. I can feel it calling." Their mother caught up behind them, breathless, her face pale. She had followed despite her warning. She stared into the canyon with dread. "No," she whispered. "This is a graveyard of ships. Nothing good rests here." But the coin pulsed brighter in Silo's hands, casting blue light across the ridge. The whisper in his mind grew stronger. "Closer, closer. Awake what sleeps." The boys climbed down the rocks, ignoring their mother's desperate pleas. The canyon was silent, but the silence felt heavy, like a tomb waiting to open. At the center, half buried in the earth, lay something enormous. It looked like the remains of a ship, but unlike any human design. Its hull was smooth, black metal covered in cracks of glowing blue light. The ground around it was scorched as if it had fallen from the sky long ago. The boys froze in awe. Even Raoul, who tried to stay strong, felt his knees weaken. "This is it," Silo whispered. His small hands trembled as the coin lifted from his palm, floating into the air on its own. Their mother cried out, "Stop! Don't let it—" But the coin flew forward, snapping into a circular socket on the ship's hull. A deep rumble shook the canyon. Dust fell from the cliffs. The cracks of blue light spread wider across the ship, pulsing like veins carrying blood. Slowly the metal began to shift. The ship was waking. Suddenly a voice echoed, not just in Silo's head this time, but all around them, vibrating through the air. It was calm, ancient, powerful, Key accepted. New bearers recognized. Innocent blood, unbroken will. The boys' hearts pounded. Taran whispered, "It's talking to us." The ship's massive doors slid open with a hiss, revealing a dark passage glowing faintly with blue light. Before they could move, footsteps echoed behind them. The wealthy man had arrived. He stepped calmly into the canyon, his silver ring catching the blue glow. Behind him, soldiers climbed down the rocks, weapons raised. The man's eyes, cold and sharp, locked on the children. "Well done," he said softly. "You brought me exactly where I needed to be." Ral stood protectively in front of his brothers. "We won't let you take it." The man chuckled, though there was no warmth in it. "Child, you still don't understand. You were never meant to keep it. You were meant to open the door for me." His smile stretched wider, and for the first time his skin shimmered. It flickered like light through water. Then his human face dissolved. Beneath it was something else. His skin was pale silver, like living metal. His eyes glowed with the same blue as the coin. His mouth was sharp, his teeth too many. He was not human at all. He was hybrid, part human, part something older. Terran stumbled back, horrified. "He's alien." The man spread his metallic hands, his voice echoing. "I am the last of the Watchers. For centuries I have searched for this ship, but the ship does not answer to me. My blood is too corrupted. That is why I gave the coin to you, children of clean blood, children who can awaken it." Their mother's voice shook with fury. "You used them." The Watcher's smile was sharp. "Used? No, they should be honored. They have awakened the greatest weapon this world has ever seen." The soldiers raised their weapons, surrounding the family. The boys pressed together, fear mixing with anger. The ship's voice spoke again, deeper now, almost like thunder. "Warning. Corrupted presence detected. Access denied." The ground trembled. A wave of blue energy burst outward, throwing the soldiers off their feet. Their weapons sparked and died. The Watcher snarled, his metallic skin flickering. "You can deny me for now, but not forever. Children, you cannot hide from destiny. That ship belongs to me." He stepped back, signaling his soldiers to retreat, but his glowing eyes lingered on Silo as if marking him. Then with one last cold smile, he vanished into the shadows of the canyon. The boys stood shaking, their hearts pounding. The ship's doors remained open, blue light spilling out like a call. Raal swallowed hard. "It wants us to go inside." Silo nodded slowly. "It's waiting for us." Their mother grabbed their hands, tears in her eyes. "This is madness. We should destroy it before it destroys us." But the ship's whisper filled their minds once more. Powerful and irresistible. "Enter, choose. The future is yours." The family stood at the edge of the unknown, torn between fear and destiny, and above them the sky darkened, as if watching. The canyon was silent after the soldiers fled, but it was not a peaceful silence. It was heavy, alive, like the ground itself was listening. The ancient ship loomed before the boys, its doors open, blue light spilling into the dust. The family stood at the edge, fear gripping their hearts. Ral's fist trembled at his sides. Terran's mouth hung open, torn between terror and excitement. Silo clutched the coin, which pulsed like a living heart in his palm. Their mother's eyes were wet with fear and anger. The ship's voice filled the canyon again, deep and commanding, echoing inside their bones. "Bearers of the key, you have awakened me. The time of silence is over." The boys shivered. The voice was not cruel, but it was not gentle either. It was ancient, older than anything they had ever known. Ral stepped forward. "Why us? Why children?" The ship answered at once. "Because you are innocent. Your blood is not stained with greed. Only the innocent may command me. Only the unbroken may decide." Terran's voice cracked. "Decide what?" The ship's light pulsed brighter. "Whether I rise again, or return to sleep forever." The boys stared at each other in shock. Their mother shook her head fiercely. "No, don't listen. This ship is a weapon. It destroyed once, it will destroy again. If you awaken it, that man, the Watcher, will take it and enslave the world." But the whisper inside Silo's mind grew louder, pulling at him. "I am not only a weapon, I'm a guardian. In the right hands I can protect." The boy's small voice trembled. "It says it can protect us," their mother snapped. "It lies. All power lies." That Watcher knew what he was doing. He gave you the coin because he cannot control it himself. But he will wait. He will wait until you open it for him. Ral clenched his fists tighter. His heart burned with rage. "Then maybe we should destroy it. End this forever." But Terran shook his head, his eyes shining. "No. Think about it. If this ship can protect us, if it can fight him, maybe this is the only way to stop him. Without it, he'll keep hunting us. With it, maybe we can fight back." The family fell silent. The choice hung heavy in the air. The ship's voice came again, calm but final. "Choose power or silence. Rise or sleep. The future is yours." Before they could speak, a low laugh echoed from the shadows. The watcher returned. He stepped out from behind a jagged rock, his metallic skin gleaming under the blue light. His soldiers were gone. This time he had come alone. His eyes burned like fire as he looked at the children. "You see?" he said softly, almost kindly. "It was never about me. It was always about you. You are the chosen bearers, but you are too young to carry such a burden. Give it to me. Let me guide the ship. Only I have the wisdom to use it." He stretched out his silver hand, his voice smooth and tempting. "Think of your people. Think of your mother. With me, no one will starve, no one will suffer. Together we can change everything." For a moment his words hung in the air like sweet poison. Silo's hand trembled around the coin. His heart screamed with confusion. The whispers of the ship, the cries of his mother, the promises of the watcher all pressed against his mind at once. Raal stepped in front of his brothers, his voice firm. "No, we don't trust you." The watcher's smile cracked, his voice sharp now. "Then you will die with it." He lunged forward faster than any human. His metallic hand slashed toward them. But before he could reach them, the ship roared. Blue light exploded outward, forming a barrier of energy between the children and the watcher. The ancient voice thundered, "Only the innocent may enter." "Corruption is denied." The watcher screamed in fury, his body sparking as the light burned his silver skin. Still he fought, pressing against the barrier with all his strength. The boys huddled together, the coin glowing hotter in Silo's hands. The ship's voice softened, speaking only to them now. "Decide. Rise with me or let me fall, but choose quickly. Time is short," their mother cried out. "Please, don't awaken it. If you do, you'll never be children again, you'll be weapons." Tears filled Silo's eyes. He looked at Raal and Taran. "What do we do?" Raal's jaw clenched. His voice shook, but it carried resolve. "We do what's right. Not for him. Not for us. For everyone." The coin flared like a star, burning their hands. The ship's light spread wider, wrapping around the boys. The watcher screamed, his body cracking with fire. "No, it belongs to me." The canyon shook violently, rocks tumbling from above. The ancient ship's hull split open, releasing a storm of light that swallowed everything. And then, silence. The screen fades to black. Only the ship's final whisper remains. The choice has been made.